and sort of leant forward slightly as the camera went forward, and his eye connected with the lens of the camera and split his eye open, and consequently it was the fight went to the scorecards, and Virgil Hill was declared the winner. That was for the WBA Championship, of course.
Top Rank Incorporated, in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present the featured bout of the evening. This contest is sanctioned by the Mississippi State Athletic Commission, Chairman Billy Lyons, Chief Deputy Commissioner Sal Toronto, physicians in attendance at ringside, Dr. James Crittenden. The timekeeper is Lonnie Taylor. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Ricky Taylor. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system are Martin Casino, Fred Steinwinder, and Billy Moran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Casino Magic here in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Elmo Adolpho. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and red trunks and weighing in at 205 pounds. He comes to us from Lexington, Kentucky, but he's originally from nearby Chatham, Louisiana. His professional record, 21 victories with 13 KOs, only 2 defeats with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, Adolpho Washington.
And there is Adolpho Washington.
And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 206 pounds even. He's from the Bronx in New York City and brings a professional record of 31 victories, 19 by KO against 8 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting a former 3-time world champion, Iran the Blade Barkley.
There he is then, Iran the Blade Barkley, 3 times a world champion. Now campaigning in the heavyweight division, and the Independent World Boxing Rankings have got both these guys rated as cruiserweight. That's about fair. They've got Washington at number 10 and Barkley at 14 coming into this.
Make a good clean break, keep all your blows up, shake hands now, come out fight.
And the thing about Washington is a rather chunky, short heavyweight. Barkley's 6 feet tall, not the smallest heavyweight there's ever been, but certainly can't be carrying natural weight here. Not punching weight, that's for sure. 31 wins, 8 losses, 19 defeats, and of course he first came to prominence with that wonderful win over Tommy Hearns back in June of '88. You might remember, big left hook in the 3rd round, flattened Tommy Hearns, and that won him the WBC middleweight championship. In fact, it wasn't the first title shot he'd had. He boxed Sambu Kalambe in Italy for the WBA title and was outpointed over 15 rounds. Gave a good account of himself, though. And I must admit, Barkley looking the heavier of the two. He's only a pound over what Washington weighed in at 205. But he does look the bigger man. He's got quite a belly on him. And doesn't look too well conditioned, I must admit. And coming into this, Washington said it would suit him if Barkley came looking for a punch-up. Of course, Barkley knows no other way. He lost his WBC middleweight championship to Roberto Duran in February of '89 on points. And he fought Michael Nunn for the IBF middleweight championship, and once again was outpointed. The most disastrous loss in his record so far, and who can forget what Nigel Benn did to Barkley. 3 knockdowns in the 1st round for the WBO middleweight championship back in August of 1990. Seems like forever ago now. 1st round win for Nigel Benn, probably the best name on his record to date, and the best result, in fact. And we all thought that Barkley was washed up before that, but he came back and had a cracker with Darren Van Horn. He only went 2 rounds, but a hell of a lot of punches thrown, and that brought him the IBF Super Middleweight Championship, which he put on the line against Tommy Hearns. And Hearns put up his light heavyweight championship. Barkley came away with his Super Middleweight title intact, and Hearns was left title-less. And his last title shot, of course, was that 9th round stoppage at the hands of James Toney. Last time out, he won in 9 against Ed Dino Stewart in Kansas City. And there's not a great deal to talk about on the record of Adolpho Washington. To say he lost to Virgil Hill, but really did nothing to earn the shot, I don't feel. A points win over the Canadian champion Drake Tansey didn't really qualify him for a shot at Virgil Hill, but these days, you know as well as I do, if you lose or are poor, you're far more likely to get a world title shot. Nice right there from Barkley, but head down, bending at the waist, that's a sure giveaway of a lack of fitness. Although he's always liked to be a head-on type of fighter. Likes to get embroiled in a punch-up. Barkley, of course, feels that anyone he can hit, he can chin. We'll wait and see. A great deal in the first round. And ironically, Barkley was actually introduced to boxing by his sister, who used to be a boxer as well. Used to be chased by the gangs when he was about 10 or 14. Used to comes from the South Bronx district of New York, of course. And he joined a gang called the Black Spades, who used to protect the neighborhood from the rival Brook Avenue Batterers gang. And apparently he's one of the lucky ones who didn't get himself jailed or killed. And it was in fact his older sister Yvonne, who was a female boxer, who first introduced Barkley to the sport in the mid-70s. He had a 30-4 record as an amateur and boxed in several prominent international matches and won. So this is round 2 then of a scheduled 10. Not a great deal in the first round, I think you'll agree. Could have gone either way, really. So I ran Barkley in the red against the pink and black of Adolpho Washington. And of course Barkley is looking to get himself a shot at Evander Holyfield for the heavyweight title, and I think he'd better think again. Naturally, of course, all the lighterweights want to be up in the heavyweight division where all the big bucks are. The better fights seem to be in the lighterweight division, but all the money's upstairs. So Adolpho Washington not intimidated by Iran Barkley. I think they call him the Blade because every time he gets hit, looks like he's been cut. He does mark up terribly. Head-to-head slog here by the pair of them. As I say, this is right up Barkley's street, but the problem is he's trading punches with a naturally heavier man. And if he feels that, as he said, if he connects, he'll knock them out, well, he'll need to try and prove that here. So far, his punches are lacking accuracy. Barkley was, I think, prevented from boxing in Britain because of his poor eyesight. Barkley looking exceptionally crude here, although I must admit he's never been the most finesse of fighters. And he was cut to ribbons by Tommy Hearns until he landed in the third round, that left hook, of course. Inside the last 10 of round 2. Once again, not a great deal in this one. Barkley once again going forward, trying to make the fight, but Washington getting through the few punches of his own. So possibly around there for Iran Barkley. Possibly. Barkley now a pro since 1982. 39 fights, 19 stoppages to his credit. Stopped by Robbie Sims back in 1984. I suppose his first prominent win was over Wilfred Scipion. He beat him in 85 in 8. And then in 86, of course, that big win over James Kinchin on points over 10 rounds before the Sambu Kalambe fight a year later. And I've given you the rest. As I say, there's only 2 names that really mean anything to me on the Washington record, and that of Drake Tadsey and Virgil Hill. So really they're looking for a safe route through the heavyweight division here for Iran Barkley, putting him with a man like Washington, who's very unrated coming into this. Washington there now sporting a bit of a bump on the left eye. Barkley's only 6 feet tall, and he's looking a little bit bigger, isn't he, than Washington? So you just got to wonder. Although Washington's coming in waist bent, he's probably about 5'11", so he's not a big heavyweight either. And obviously Eddie Mustafa Mohammed, who is the former cruiserweight champion, of course, or light heavyweight champion, is training Barkley these days, and he feels that the blade is ready and sharp. And there's a big lump now appearing on Barkley's left eye. And that's the story of his life. Always marked up terribly, cut and swollen around the face and eyes. Allow Bernstein there. He's got Washington in the first couple. Not too easy to pick between them on my card. Approaching the halfway point in this 3rd round. Washington now starting to put some meat behind these punches. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Washington till the age of 10, then they moved down to Louisiana. So what was that? What was that? Is that a low blow or a clash of heads? There's certainly blood. Yes, it looks like a cut on the nose. Where is it? Elmo Adolph. A little inspection there. Couldn't quite make out what happened there. Here we go. Well, was that low or not? Well, it looked a bit borderline. Nothing more. And ironically, in the 1983 Junior Olympics, which is for those under 16, Adolpho Washington squared up to a big kid from New York who'd been knocking everybody out. And Washington stopped him in the 2nd round, and that big kid went on to become the heavyweight champion of the world, none other than Riddick Bowe. Also boxed a lot for the States in amateur internationals, Washington. He boxed in England as well. He beat Derek Angle, who was boxing then at light heavyweight as an amateur. Well, that's a better round for Washington.
On the streets of New Orleans, Van Damme is the target.
You're stalking an exceptional opponent.
What are you doing?
I'm leaving a surprise for my friends.
Now, they're on his turf.
He's obviously not someone we should underestimate.
And the tables have turned.
How's it feel to be hunted?
I want him stepped on hard. Give it a rest, pal.
Hard target.
So, a bit of replay here then, with Washington starting to really, as I say, put some power behind those shots. There's Eddie Mustafa Mohammed just ducking under the ropes there. Round 4 then of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight contest. Facing us, Adolpho Washington against Iran Barkley, who's labouring with this weight And everyone around Barkley seems to feel that he's quite comfortable with it. But I'm not too sure. And they're both marked. But that swelling on Barkley's left eye now looking quite gruesome. And he's not the prettiest of guys anyway coming into this. And the left eye of Washington slightly closed, but not getting much worse, that's for sure. So far, I don't think Barkley's really bothered Washington with one of his punches. Oh, nice left hook there from Barkley. It's a good shot. Forced Washington to hang on for a second. Barkley now looking to make Washington pay for that good third round he had. But just can't seem to sustain his work now, can he? The rate has dropped. There's no doubt that Barkley's labouring here, and I think any thoughts he may have of contesting a heavyweight championship or even winning one look to be pretty remote at the moment. Oh, chopping right from Washington. Nice left hook though, back from Barkley. Washington coming back into this round. So a round of two halves, really, with Barkley having the initiative in the early stages, but certainly Washington coming back at him towards the finish, having the best of the last minute, in fact, to once again make it rather difficult to separate these two after 4 rounds. By the way, thank you once again for all of your letters, pictures and postcards and competition entries and everything else. Appreciate it, and I'll get onto those next week. I'm sorry to tease you, but I'll have to wait for the winners. And I hope if those nice chaps down at the Independent World Boxing Rankings are listening, if they can send me some latest ratings from November, I'd be very grateful. He looks gruesome, doesn't he, with that swelling on the left eye.
Hands up, hands up.
So round 5 coming up then. So I can't really separate these two. They've both had their moments. Neither man has really got that much on top, except possibly Washington in round 3. Better. Ralph Bernstein fully believing that Washington's won all 4 of the completed rounds so far. I shan't argue that. As I say, it's one of those scrappy, hard to score fights, and I'm not going to commit myself either way. Well, it's getting hard to watch. Well, I think Iran Barkley is falling no one but himself in this quest for heavyweight glory. Washington looking altogether the more mobile of the two as well. Good right cross there from Washington. Oh, just dropped on his chin like a scything punch, but it didn't make too much of a difference. So the slugging Barkley from the Bronx against Adolpho Washington. And Washington, unfortunately, nothing more than a very beatable type of heavyweight. So Barkley really having trouble here. I don't think Washington's got that one. So there's a couple of rounds in front of my card after 5. 5 to go. Using the end swell there on that left eye. Looks to be a waste of time. Looks to be a lost cause now. Mustafa Mohammed there. I don't think, I think he tried to convince Barkley he should come out for the 6th. And indeed he does. Confusing signals from that Barkley corner. Did he want to quit? Looks like that left eye is looking pretty bad now. Yep, referee Elmo Adolpho has stopped this. With less than 30 seconds gone in round 6 in favour of Adolpho Washington, and quite rightly, Mustafa Mohammed didn't want him to come out for the 6th round. It's taken hard. He can't even see out the eye, can he? Look, swollen very badly, completely shut. Well, an abortive attempt at his 2nd victory as a heavyweight for Iran Barkley, who was never going to win that fight. So Adolpho Washington then gets himself on the map with the first real named opponent that he's beaten, with the exception, as I say, of the Canadian Drake Tadsey. Great to have a scalp of a man who's won world titles at 3 different weights under the belt. And don't forget, Barkley, a genuine world champion, beat Tommy Hearns twice. I must admit, Darren Van Horn was probably shot by the time Barkley battered him, but cracking scrap.
As Iran Barkley is unable to continue, his left eye is entirely closed. He's unable to continue. The winner by TKO victory. The official time, 33 seconds into round number 6. TKO victory for Adolpho Washington.
So there is then Mr. Big Time gets the biggest win on his professional slate. And end of the road probably for Iran Barkley.
Thank you, Barry. Well, Adolpho, you have created the best win of your professional career. It wasn't easy, though, was it?
No, it wasn't easy. I can't take nothing away from Iran Barkley. He was a great 3-time champion. I was just ready tonight, and everything was going my way, and I was just a better man tonight. I can't take anything away from him.
You know, I had this, like, eye thing when it happened in the gym, but I didn't think it was going to affect me into the fight. But he hit me, and it swelled. But I was willing, you know, to do what I had to do. But, you know, my eyes swelled and it closed. But my trainer said, you know, what you going to do? I said, that's it, man. You know, no sense of, you know, I just got to get him next time.
Will there be another day for Iran Barkley?
It's going to be a whole lot of more days for Iran Barkley. As long as Iran Barkley could keep doing what he's doing, you know what I'm saying? As long as God keep me healthy and strong and able me to keep going on, Iran Barkley will be back.
Let me talk to your trainer, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Eddie, you were the one who really stepped in there and said enough is enough, and I applaud you for that decision. You don't want to see any fighter get hurt. Any advice for Iran Barkley? I mean, should this go on? Should he keep fighting?
Well, Barry, I am the last one to tell Iran or anybody to retire, because I mean, a lot of people told Iran to retire the first time, and he came back to win 2 more world titles. I mean, I can only advise Iran, you know, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to retire, I'm with him 100%. If he wants to continue his career, I'll be with him 100%. But it's up to the individual. We can stand here and talk until we're blue in the face, but ultimately it's Iran Barkley's decision.
Is the bottom line around that you still feel that you can fight as a heavyweight, that you would prefer to fight at 206 pounds as opposed to really trying to get down to the cruiserweight division?
Well, look, I mean, I could get down, you know, I mean, I feel comfortable at this weight. You know, I'm a big man. You know, my family is big. Every time I take off the weight, I take away from my abilities, my power and everything. See, that was the Essek and James Toney fight. I couldn't get 4 pounds off of me. So, you know, I said, dang, man, either I got to move on or whatever. I'm spreading out. You know, I mean, the older you get, the more your body get up to. You know, I'm a young man, but I mean, I'm 33 years old. I mean, I'm not going to pull down to satisfy somebody else. I'm going to do what Iran Barkley want to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, tonight was a fortunate night. You know, it's not the end of the road for me. I mean, I'm not a dead man. I'm not you know, I'm not finishing this game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a lot more left in me. Hey, tonight was his night, and you know, he went on. I applaud him. You know what I'm saying? But I could see that it was going to be a great fight. But I mean, hey, the eyes swelled, and I knew that it was going to swell because I was training and sparring with the gym, and it swelled up. So, I mean, hey, he caught me on the bone and it hit it. You know, tonight was his night.
You're a warrior, man. I wish you well.
Thank you.